G'day everyone and welcome back to another Tech Talk Tuesday here at Treadwell. Edward Titley is my name. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And if you've joined us before, welcome back. Today we're having a look at AS 2156.1, which is related to walking tracks. Now, firstly, by way of an intro, we hold these sessions every second Tuesday here starting at 1:30 New South Wales time, which is where I am today. We try and keep it nice and brief, 15 minutes or so, where we run through typically an Australian standard or a topic related to applications or usages of FRP. Always welcome your feedback, good, bad, or ugly. If it's a waste of time, please say so. If there's a topic you'd like us to look at in the future, please say that as well. And if it was worth attending, also we'd be interested to hear that. You know, we're looking to provide valuable content. So with that in mind, we'll kick off a little bit of housekeeping, obviously, to start with. Firstly, we're providing general advice today. So any site-specific situations or requirements are obviously not taken into consideration with our discussion today. If you'd like to discuss site-specific requirements or applications or details, welcome to reach out to us and do that. And secondly, obviously, we're not Standards Australia, so we can't read into a standard and comment on what they were meaning or the motivation or the meaning behind a particular statement. All we can do is discuss what the standard says and possibly interpretations of it. And we all know, or as we all know, standards are subject to interpretation, so your interpretation might vary from mine. With that out the way, AS 2156, what is it? So AS 2156 Part 1 is in regards to walking tracks, specifically the classification and signage. So standard offers a classification system for walking tracks, along with guidance for designing, making, and using track markers and information signs. Also sets out guidelines in regards to the erection of these markers and signs to ensure they'll be visible, clear, and easy to read without detracting from the landscape. The objective of the standard is to provide managing authorities with guidance for walking track classification and signage in order to provide consistency of information to users with the intention to minimise risk. Now, how or why is this relevant to Treadwell and FRP and what we do? Well, good question. And look, as you're probably aware, a part of what we do is public access or public infrastructure, so boardwalks and other access ways for the public. A lot of locations these are used in are locations that are subject to or applicable to AS 2156. So we thought that as part of a 2-session, so a 4-week, if you like, series, we'd start off with the classification, and then next webinar, so in 2 weeks' time, we'll have a look at the loadings and other requirements given depending on the track classification. But we thought it makes sense to start with classification because obviously we need to classify the track in order to be able to determine the correct loadings to consider for a structure like a boardwalk, for example, but also requirements around fall protection, handrail, balustrades, those sort of things. So with that in mind, there's a classification system that's oops, sorry, I'm not sure what's just happened here. Classification system, sorry, I'm just having some IT issues, but look, hopefully everyone can still hear. Classification system can be used to classify existing tracks, or obviously you can consider it when constructing a new track, and also tracks can have more than one classification. So class 1 track. This would be a location where there's an opportunity for large numbers of visitors, including those with reduced mobility, to undertake walks which are provided with a high level of interpretation facility. So a class 1 track would have a broad hard surface track suitable for wheelchair use, minimum width 1200 mil or greater, steps allowed so long as there's alternative ramp access, and lastly, lookouts, seats and barrier rails may be included in a class 1 track. Bit of an example here of a track according to that designation. You can see this is an elevated walkway, but the width of this is greater than 1200 mil, provides a clear designated walking surface. Classification 2. So classification 2 is also considered opportunity for a large number of visitors to walk easily in natural environments which are provided with a moderate to high level of interpretation facilities. So that would mean that generally there's a modified or hardened surface. The width would be minimum 900 mil. Generally no steeper than 1 in 10, although the standard does state that for short durations, a gradient of greater than 1 in 10 is acceptable, but generally the gradient would be no steeper than 1 in 10, and also including a minimal use of steps. Lastly, like Class 1, may include lookout platforms, seats, and barrier rails. A couple of examples of this, including a viewing platform here, and also obviously a designated walking surface. Now, Class 3, we start to see slightly different phrasing opportunity for visitors to walk in slightly modified natural environments, requiring a moderate level of fitness and where the provision of interpretation facilities is not common. So we can start to see a bit of a change in terminology here, more emphasis with maintaining the natural environment, generally a modified surface, and sections may be hardened, I should say. The width is variable, but generally less than 1200 mil. Slope may exceed 1 in 10 for short sections. And lastly, users may encounter natural hazards such as steep slopes, unstable surfaces, minor water crossings. And this is potentially an example of a Class 3 track. This is a very low to the ground structure, but give you a bit of an idea there. Class 4, once again, we see a bit of a terminology change, opportunity for visitors to discover relatively undisturbed natural environments along defined and distinct tracks. So there's still a provision of a distinct track, but however minimal, if any, facilities. Users can expect opportunities for solitude with few encounters with others. So that would be fairly, shall I say, lightly used tracks. In regards to the characteristics of a Class 4 track, the track is generally distinct without major modification to the ground. Encounters with fallen debris and other obstacles are likely, and users require a moderate level of navigation skills and to be self-reliant in regard to emergency such as air and weather hazards and so on. This is an example here of considered a Class 4 walking track. So we can see a distinct path, but there's minimal modification to the ground surface. Class 5, opportunity for visitors with advanced outdoor knowledge and skills to find their own way along often indistinct tracks. So once again, we're seeing that terminology change. Users can expect frequent opportunities for solitude, once again with few encounters with others. And then we're seeing here limited modification to natural surfaces. Track alignment may be indistinct, so that's a variation from Class 4. May include steep sections, signage is limited and only for management purposes, and users require a high degree of specialised skill, such as maps and or navigation equipment. And then lastly, Class 6, opportunity for highly experienced walkers to explore remote and challenging natural areas without reliance on managed tracks. Once again, extended periods of solitude, you'd expect minimal encounters with others. Now, Class 6, no modification of natural environment, may include steep sections of unmodified surface, I should say. Signage typically not provided, and users would be expected to have previous experience in the outdoors and a high level of specialised skills to be able to navigate safely. This example here, this table here, which can be found, designates a variation in classification that's likely to occur along the length of a particular track. And as we saw earlier, it's possible for a track to have more than one classification. Now, what we can see here is effectively like, if you like, a matrix with a way to be clarifying what class this track would be, and this indicates this track would be considered as Class 3. Track conditions, you might say, are between 1 and 2, gradient signage between 2 and 3, gradient signage between 1 and 2, infrastructure 2 to 3, terrain on lines of Class 2, but then weather being quite a broad scope. So thereby we'd consider this track as a Class 3 track, except in winter when snow cover would reduce it to Class 5. And then just before we finish off, just a brief overview on signage types. So we don't typically get involved in signage, but we thought it would be of value just to have a quick look at it. So information signs provide information related to the track and its use, including advisory signs, descriptive signs, interpretive signs, regulatory signs, and warning signs. So see some examples here. Advisory signage giving us a summary of the area, walking trail, only all that sort of designation as a descriptive signage. Interpretive signage telling us something about a flora or fauna that might be experienced or visible in that particular area. Regulatory signage, and then warning signage. So just some examples of those. I think they're probably fairly straightforward in regards to what these signs provide. That's the end of today's session. Stay online for a couple of minutes. Happy to hold a little live Q&A session about anything we discussed today or anything else related to FRP. Now, as I said earlier, we're not Standards Australia, so I may not be able to answer a question specifically in relation to the meaning of a standard or a part of the standard, but always happy to have a crack. And if we can't answer anything, happy to take it on notice. If you'd like to talk to us about a specific project, happy to do that. Please drop us a line at hello@treadwellgroup.com.au or give us a call 1-800-246-800 for Australia and 0800-244-600 for New Zealand. And as I said, 2 weeks' time we'll be reviewing part 2 of AS2156. It may require another session. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to cram it into one 15-minute session. We'll have a go. Otherwise, it might need to be 2 further sessions, but in relation to loadings requirements, edge protection, and so on for various track classifications. It's 1:44 p.m. here in New South Wales, so we'll stay on for a minute or two. If there's no questions, then we'll wrap it up. So once again, thanks for joining. Hope you found this session worthwhile. And as I said, any feedback, good, bad, or ugly, is always welcome. Feel free to comment as to whether it was valuable or a waste of time or any other aspect. Always happy to have a discussion. Always looking for feedback, whether it's good or bad or otherwise. Doesn't look like there's any questions, so we'll wrap it up now. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. In the meantime, if you think of something, drop us a line, hello@treadwellgroup.com.au, and we'll be very happy to have a chat. Thanks again. Cheers.